the whole mean. Ari Sanguine, the mean dean, of age of 19. He is there. We have not lost him. You don't have to recreate him from scratch. Which is great, because you have no idea how tedious that was. Yeah, if you ever get a Code Vein, just know. Yes. Photo mode, in case you want to see Chorus's face. I'm talking broken irises, scars up the ass. The Purifier mask of their choice. This is what this is the ass your choice of clothing will give you. Look at that definition. And the hourglass form of broad shoulders into a narrow hip, into a wide ass. I am not kidding. That is all the pants. The pants do that. And yes, this is photo mode. If you time it right, you can pause the game at any time to take pictures. And you can have people moving and idling too. You can pause it, so you can risk death if you want. You can do this while people are playing. But yeah, there's the mask. There's special effects. I hope you don't have epileptic seizures. Then you've got the frames. There's spoiler alert. You get a picture. And you can also get yourself to pose.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. The Reaper's got his eyes on us.
Yeah, of course, it's that nasally ass voice, which... Because I don't give a shit about my characters, about like 90% of my characters having badass voices. I want to sound like a dork. And have dorky bullshit. Oh, yeah, the good thing is I don't get annoyed like that. Cancel it with emotes. You could play rock, paper, scissors with emotes, by the way. There's a cool landing. That float 1 is holiness with a sword way too big. Trademark pose because I'm guessing that's a JoJo reference or something. The alternative is just doing it to other sides. Yeah, we could technically play rock, paper, scissors in Code Vein. This guy does no damage, and he had the free point of beating me the entire time I was making dinner. It is insanely difficult to get a clean shot of this mask. These kind of masks only appear when you're doing a blood veil move like this. It is insanely difficult to get a clean shot of that crap. Suicide Spur. You got 4 types of blood veils. This one, I think, in terms of if you're, I don't know, if you're feeling like a caster, like all of my friends use this dumb one. Because they play the most of their build, and holy hell, the cleanest shot. So this is what the, I believe these are called the Ivy type. That's their mask. Yeah, they summon knives out of the ground. Most of my friends use this. I don't, because it looks gay, and I have to see skin and arms. It'd probably work with your demon hands. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And that's what I think I try to choose. Oh, I'm completely immortal while in my menu. Thanks, game. Nope, there it is. Beat me harder. That's when I grab it. This is the Hound's type, and the mask you get when you activate it. All of the Hound types are you wearing jackets over your shoulders. The sleeves become your dogs. No, this blood veil type's called Hounds in this game too. I don't know that because I've never played God Eater. And I mostly stuck with this jacket until I actually got one. Oh, he just completely went idle again. Nice. Yeah. This one is the one you'll likely end this, because if you get the game, I believe they'll give you the festive versions of all. You can like get one of the festives of all of them. That's your best bet for a strength build. Is this one? You can make the blood veils completely invisible through the settings. If you just want to look at your character's appearance all the time. Raw on. Also, then here's the winter coat. Due to how much movement your character does during this, it's insanely hard to get that mask. A shot of that mask. I rock the Dusk Garb, which is just a different coloration of the Silver Garb. Because that's all the merchant in this game who upgrades your stuff is worth, is you find armor and you get different colors of it from her. That's all she's worth in my opinion. outside of upgrading, because she's just, if you somehow for some reason threw away a weapon you had, she'll sell it to you. But otherwise, you use her to upgrade your shit and then buy different colors armor, because I don't like the Crusader color scheme. Queenslayer Thorn, this one's pretty good. Then the Ogre type. Clean shot of that mask, and then the Claw. I grabbed it mid. And this will give me the best screenshot you can of this mask. Yeah, this is what that mask looks like, because when you activate it, your whole arm goes Demon Hand, Crap Vest. This is the one you will start out with, this whole costume, so this is what you will be rocking to start. If you like it, you like it. Getting clawed as is. There's other variants which do the same. These are your Devour moves, basically. They don't heal you unless you get, I don't have it equipped, but I have Health Stimulant equipped because I can. Until you get Regenerative Drain, which requires you to, get Hades over here. Do you have a chance? So they won't heal you, they just buff up your Ichor points, which lets you do shit like... And it lets you, and for some weapons, because a lot of weapons have that special shtick. You can get Ichor to a maximum of like 20 plus what you start with. Backstabbing is literally a button press where you, if you're at the right spot, you will stun the enemy instantly. Enemies... also focus when you glow. Yeah, it's, I think if I go here, he walked back to place, which is pretty good. He leaves you alone after a while. Yeah, you get some of that kind of stuff. I'm always gonna rock my Dusk Garb, because give me that metal armor. Make me heavy. He just straight up goes passive constantly. He really is a punching bag. You get Swyhanders, you got the worst weapon in the game, the Judgment Edge. The thing is, what's sad is the Judgment Edge is a late game item you find. It is a late game item you get for beating a boss. But due to some weird way to how they made it work, it is arguably the worst weapon in the game. Because stat-wise, it says it's supposed to do 1,373. it does 20% less than what it says it does on all the basic attacks. It only does that damage on heavies where you have the red laser, which is why your heavies are like 2 swings and 1. If I walk away long enough, he just loses interest, walks back. So sad, the life he lives. But yeah, Judgment Edge, worst weapon. Don't use it. There's not much you can do to salvage it. Argent King's Wolfblade. Probably one of the best weapons, because you can stun lock things if you just heavy attack them constantly. Huge Hammer is also pretty good. Run. I don't know. If you want some lighter weapons. Charge. You won't get this till like... You won't get Executioner till like late game. Because it's related to getting it's a companion item kind of thing. If you're going for lighter stuff, your ideal armor type will either be Claw or the Shawls. You're going to want the Ivy's things. These are for light builds, and yeah. The heavier version of this is the Black Saber, which is for strength builds and much lower. Yeah, if you like ice, is this late game weapon. More mid game, fire. With an explosion. It's pretty fun. There's the Pipe of Thraldom. Yeah, it's a literal pipe. You can get... In the DLCs, you can get rewards for beating the boss with just the pipe. There's... not great swords, there's that stuff. You'll probably want the halberds, are probably the closest to the scythes. They're fast, they've got long reach, and they have a... and if you build right, they get a lot of damage. You'll probably want Damrung here. I'd recommend it if you can get Io, one of the companions, up enough, because this thing gives you a defense buff for just using your charged heavy. It can give you that added bit of tankiness. If you want however, if you want speed and some range, bayonets. This is fast and it's the gun. There's the ride here, small shotgun, the roulette piecer, the standard do. My personal favorite, the Burning Disaster. It's the reason it's the only bayonet I've upgraded. I don't use Ichor replenishers often, so I don't mind spamming them in a training area. But yeah, there's that. The Sunset Bayonet is just, I think, a basic one. Yeah, just a basic one. There's a couple more, I don't have all of them. You'll get these Sunset ones up the ass. But the bayonets, yeah, like that. Do they all have that? Some of them have the more aggressive form, but I think there's... yeah. This might be something up your alley, because you start with a thrust, you move in, and then you dash out. And that's all just a basic attacks. You start with an entry, and then it pulls you out when you're done swinging. So you can start shooting if you want that back and forth. And if you're running a bayonet, you're gonna be a caster, which is basically backline shitting on things, because that's casters. They have a bunch of spells. I have that one because I fought for it. You watched me parry a boss to get it. And no one can take that from me. Yeah, there are all the blood codes. Your abilities range from passives, active. There's active abilities involving the light weapons, active ability. There's the combo attacks involving the heavy weapons. There's... all of this stuff costs Ichor one way or another, except for passives. Like, if you're going for a halberd, you're going to want to get the Knight, because he could give you a halberd buff passive that literally just damage increased when equipped with a halberd. And anything that highlights and says it works with halberds, which I think, yeah, like Severing Abyss, you're gonna... all these lighter, all the stuff that mentions it, or bayonets, those are the two I think you'll probably gravitate towards. Bayonet if you want to be a caster, because the queen shit, all of her stuff is casting and magic, and she does heavy damage as you level it up. Like, it keeps you at range. It keeps you at range and safety. If you want to be a brawler, though, there are options. I could give you a glass cannon build, but ideally, yeah, you just... the way I like it, the way I have it set up is my buffs are on the D-pad. I have all my attacks and such on the actual buttons. That way I don't have to divert two hands to do something, because normally buff up just before the fight, that's what's going. Occasionally, particularly with my suicide buff, I'll throw that on in the middle of a fight, because I do that as a, I'm in and out, I'm dead, I'm going to die, nothing can stop me. I throw that along with Jack's Fatal Surge, and that's how I raped that one boss, to the point where Jack just kinda saw me going apeshit and backed off. He's like, I'm just gonna be here to revive you. He's throwing his revive gifts as I'm just over here slamming the boss into the dirt. I have gone apeshit. What can you do? Always have restorative offerings if you care about your NPCs. Like, if you want to live longer, and also if you summon a random player, bring restorative offerings, because so many players, as I've read on Reddit, so many players will actively screw over any host they see that isn't running a restorative offering. Because if you're not going to help them, there's no point in them helping you. And they will screw you over by bringing enemies to you, getting you surrounded, body blocking you on paths that you want to go, and just overall making the game more difficult. Like, coming into the boss to buff the suicide themselves and make the boss, or not even suicide, just sit in the boss room to make it tankier, because the more companions you have, the less damage you do. Everyone's sort of the bosses scale too, to make sure you don't fuck them over. Well, they don't scale, it's just the bosses, the more people in the boss room, the more health and defenses the boss get. That's a formula in any Souls game. Also, the boss's AI changes drastically when there's more than one person. I'll reference a boss, the knight, like Queen's Knight Reborn or whatever. His second, that boss fight. There's when there's more than one person and he hits phase 2, he will teleport, I shit you not, 7 times in a row. He will do an entire combo of him teleporting between you and your companion. He will switch aggro with every attack. And he will just be teleporting above you. And he will take 1,000 hits on that. But the moment your companion dies, nah, it's basic. I pretty much re-entered phase 1. I don't have teleport moves. What are you talking about? Occasionally does a teleport drop. I don't have teleport moves. What are you talking about? It's like he will legitimately go into the most passive angel when you don't have a companion. And a lot of bosses are like that because bosses in this game have a weird way of aggro change. They will aggro change anyone who uses Restorative Offering, and anyone who is... And once you hit, like, the critical stage, they will change aggro to your companions. Like, they're trying to get you wear everyone down equally. And that's some artificial safety on the player. So when you're about to die, the boss starts ignores you for a minute. But don't let that fool you, because when it dives your companion, it's going to dive your companion. Either heal up and get back in the fight, or charge in and die with them. Like, I have watched Hannibal, that boss, the Hellfire Knight, I have watched him do nothing but backflips and the slight 2-punch jab into a lunge pounce because the companion bot AI couldn't dodge it for whatever reason. It literally would jump and spam that till they died the moment it broke aggro from me. They will just, it's a game of 2 computers playing chess, and one of them knows all the moves. And it will run it. Nah, the boss pretty much, the bosses in Code Vein more or less aggro who's closest and who has the highest health. Please note, every boss has a one-shot, and a lot of bosses' moves are very wide-hitting, so they can hit around it quite frequently. Meaning, if you're not careful, the boss can hit multiple people. It can catch your whole group if you're not paying attention. And some of the bosses are very subtle with their tells. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the me walking in circles live stream. I'm gonna try the depths again. I suck at the towers. But the towers give me difficulty. Anyway, but yeah, the core... Like, the boss of this current tower is probably the hardest boss I actually have to deal with, because I just suck at fighting her. She is... the thing is that she hides her tells, and it's quite obvious that's just how she's designed to work. Alright, Jack.
Keep yourself safe out there.
Yeah, I hate these guys. Nope, no buff for you. I get my backstab. Get lost. Nice. Oh, he... Nope. Fucking hell, he gets his buff off in the absolute last second of the shit. And now Jack is dead, and because he's going Sonic the Hedgehog. Fuck you. I'm gonna just use my regen inducers. Yeah, you inject yourself with a quick drug. Yellow's Tower is a late game thing that can happen, or that you get access to. And your best bet is to spam backstabs. Any enemy who can be backstabbed, you need to spam it, because the backstab will basically interrupt them constantly, and they won't do anything. That's why getting lifesteal on kill and lifesteal on drain becomes the best lifesaver in the universe. You will heal ridiculously. Fuck you. Also, because the lifesteal on train is 5% of your HP healed. And then when they die, that's another 5%, so you can just keep racking up 10% of your HP. Also, you're completely invulnerable while backstabbing. This is, I believe, 2 layers. You just get 1 layer, that's the big guy, and it's this. And then it's just this invasion, which is like a couple waves of these guys and 1 more Boreal bullshit. Always backstab. You can stay immortal if you just keep on backstabbing. I hope you like that cutscene. I'm never gonna stop doing it. Fuck off with that. Fucking hell. Hello? Nope, I'm dead, because Jack is dodging literally nothing. And now I have to restart that whole thing from front to back, and I was literally at the end of those waves.
You up?
Yeah, the Boreal guys are easily one of the worst enemies in this fucking game. These fuckers right here.
Change of tactics?
Well, we pretty much lost. Fucking hell. And now I'm fucking... Yeah, we fucking lost. Yep. No point in trying this. We're gonna fucking... Yeah, if you let that guy buff, you might as well just completely restart, because he is fucking so tanky. Like, he went from a sliver of health being able to be taken out in one hit to a literal fucking tank that nearly killed that. God damn it! Nope. Yeah, he one-shots Jack over there. You can't backstab him anymore. Yeah, I'm just gonna try it again. Cause fucking hell, if you can't prevent him from buffing, you get completely and utterly demolished, and there's no coming back. And it really fucking sucks. And that missed. That's bad. Fucking hell. Oh, shit. Backstab him. There we go. Yeah, if you can't stop him from buffing, you might as well throw in the towel. Because he becomes a boss in himself. I'll wait for her. I wonder if I could search for her.
Hello? Is anybody home?
Howdy. Well, I can safely say, screw whoever's in United Kingdom's trying to log on to my Ubisoft account. Because I just changed it to one of the crazy strong passwords that Apple comes up with. And I'm talking like this thing is a bunch of numbers, letters, completely random with dashes in between them. So whatever they just logged on, logged off. So yeah, beneath me is probably my most hated boss because it's a pain in the ass. I'm pretty sure I can try. I just need to buff up and dunk and dive down there. Alright, let's see, where is she? I can see her through the fog. Alright, Jack, you ready?
you fully conscious?
I hesitated because I would have ran face first into an attack. No, that attack one-shot me, in case you didn't notice. It's because I ran into that attack, I died. It's not that she's doing damage, she just punches you with damage and poisons on the side. And so every boss is, the status effect is a side piece. They all have damage to work with, and they will punch it into you. Alright, well, we'll try again.
You're ready.
Fucking hell, that's stunned. Nope. Out of here with that bullshit. Out of here with your gay shit. No one likes you. Literally no one likes them, and they're just a disappointment to their family. Alright. Morning, sunshine. Ready for a backstab? Literally waking up the enemy with backstabs. I probably would have been able to do a little better had I swapped out my passives, because I have a set of passives that I should generally run passives that don't involve killing things and draining them to get life back, and I could run better. Fuck off, crud, man. I'm gonna get extra health back. And this is the magic of living off backstabs. I now will have a shit ton of energy to expel. Backstab him. I now have the maximum amount that I can have. Also, it's pretty good to refresh with these things, because they get a lot of drain. Jack's fucking dead. Nope. Still kind of screwed now, though. Because I don't have Jack here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm dead. Can't do anything. Because Jack had to die.
I see you're awake. I wish. Or you even try that buff again. Sit down. Perfect. Another backstab. Yep. Morning, sunshine. Ready for your 4 p.m. dick flattening? Gaylord's watching me. Alright, now that he's done that, I put my hand up his ass, and then I put my spear. And I get instantly one-shotted. Because off-screen moves like that are timed just as I come out of my frame. Jack, don't die on me. That was really hurting the bottom line. God damn it. I really hate that just fucking backswing that kills me. Like, they aren't even actually trying to hit me. It's just I'm in the backswing. I'm getting out of the way for that kills me. Backstab, the focus can't help you.
So, honey, it is time for your 4 p.m. dick flat. I can heal constantly. I am immortal as long as I am backstabbing. Oh, no buff for you, bitch boy. There we go. Now Jack's here. Now we can probably do this. Are you ready, Jack? Out of here. I couldn't see a thing that entire time except her fucking ass. And there's more enemies. Great. The tower never ends. I'm technically trying to go down. I don't believe that. Anyway, I died. I think that's enough of that for me, because, I got past that boss, and that's a good enough checkpoint on this tower for me. I got past the first boss. I don't know how long any of that stuff is. And since you didn't get to see the beautiful monster design, because I know you like that. Spoiler warning. I'm not gonna fight this thing because I don't want to go too far, but yeah. I'll die to this thing happily, but I will not kill it. I'm mostly getting in here for photo mode. Not gonna lie, it kinda did. Some blue blood veins. No, I can tell you those are veins. They're tubing. They're tubing, but I can tell you they're tubing blood. It's just blue blood, because reasons. Reasons that I don't feel that I don't want to spoil for you. Also, look at that mouth. No, like, this is just straight blue blood. Because there's a character that bleeds blue. Yeah, the queen bleeds blue. I know. This is the king of AoEs. If you want to see a whole body be a hitbox, and I beat this guy, and I beat this one before without the buffs. I'm mostly going to plan to die to it, so I'm going to activate Suicide buff. Hit. Buff, Jack. Perfect. We've been killed in the time it took us to buff. But yeah, that is the boss. I'm not going to fight it again because I don't want to spoil into the ending if I go fucking ape shit and bust out all the damage stops.
So there's no harm in trying.
I didn't believe in my own blood code, Queenslayer. I didn't believe in it until I actually used Final Journey.
Better than
It will straight up kill you, but it is a fucking damage buff, and I believe it raises you 1 speed of rolling. So if you're using like so you can roll mid defense, be quick, roll heavy defense, be mid, so forth, and it's a damage buff, but it kills you when it ends. However, it beating a boss ends all buffs and debuffs instantly, and basically refreshes your character. Healing is refilled, health refilled, Ica refilled, buffs turned off, so you will not die if you kill a boss. and the buff, because it will instantly cancel out that buff. Because I'm pretty sure part of that is because the game will register it as a debuff too. It's a debuff that increases your damage and speed, but is set to kill you when the timer ends. And you can't. Yeah, and you can't. And you also cannot be revived when it kills you. They can throw health your way all they want. You die when that buff is over. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that second person just walked off after they realized this is me talking to air and walking in a circle. And oh yeah, Lake of Blood. Didn't think there was... If you felt this game lacked enough blood for vampires, Lake of Blood, final arena. You sit upon an island in a lake of blood that with a throne that is absorbing blood and pumping it into a person, so they can create a cloud of blood to keep the big things out. Didn't think there was enough blood? You get your fill by the end of the game. There's this guy now.
I want evidence that Silva's policies are in the stick. I want evidence that Silva's policies are in the stick.
And I want you to run off that cliff. Did you just tell me not to fall, Jack? Just for that?
Damn Paul.
I will fall just for that. Somewhat, yes.
Good to avoid waste. That looks interesting.
Ooh, shiny. All right, you know the mission, Jack. Shiny.
All else fair.
Nothing's stopping me. Let's go. Excuse me, sir. I have shiny. No shiny that way. Shiny, 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 shiny. There is a drop down point. I know it. I will find it. No one can stop me. You think you can hurt me, sir? Out of my way. I have shinies to find. That does... I know that path doesn't lead that way.
What will we find this way?
Shiny. Shiny, 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 shiny. Regen inducer. Totally worth it. I mean, I think the canonical accepting of my character is a in between of idiot baby, complete psychopath. It's an in-between of idiot baby and complete psychopath, really. There's not much else you can get down to. What if I fall here? Yeah. I mean, yes, but no. We are simply idiot baby and... The autism comes from our input.
We can go up from here.
Yes. Excuse me, gentlemen. Hey, no, you stop that. I said stop it. You stop it.
Something useful?
There's a shiny there. I can't get it. I can get it. Let me get it. Give me my shiny.
Moving.
I want my shiny. It starts to cry when I can't get my one tiny bit of loot that I know is completely worthless. Oh, you got backstabbed. More idiot baby powers. No, idiot baby powers. I understand, but no, idiot baby. Also, because I have a couple more skills, like navigating. Yeah. Don't make me take you.
You went into the depths for me? So, what was it like? Crap. I can't just my luck. It's back to scouting for a spot again. I've known all the folks when I got tossed out of the shelter. They were fool enough to come with me. They lost their home because of me. That's why I gotta find them a safe place to live. No matter... I've known all the folks when I got taught. They lost...
Well, anyway. You got a what? Nice. Anyway, let's see. You want to see navigation. Let's go to the Cathedral of Sacred Blood. Because you're going through this, and I hope you can remember how I'm about to run through this. Because it is not easy. It is a maze, and it is a maze with a lot of dead ends. And by dead ends, I mean cliffs. And leaps of faith are required if you are not looking properly. Are you ready, Haley?
Don't get too far ahead.
Also, every enemy in this area knows how to teleport on top of you.
Guard.
Or at least anyone that looks like these, and there are a lot of them. So anyway, ideally without taking any of the shortcuts, you open up a lot of shortcuts. It takes a bit longer, but you have to search. It's a maze where you have to run through every little hallway. There's a dead end right there. It's a headache, but you gotta get used to it. No, Jack, I will not wait right here. Fuck you. And your mother. And a lot of your dead ends are pretty much beneath these little things, and they're beautiful. There's enemies that are dangling for no reason. They're just dangling on life and death cliffs because they can. Alright, so... yeah, this is a shortcut too. Disappoints me, but I gotta get somewhere. Alright, ma'am, I need you to teleport at me, come on. Like, you can't just run away from these enemies because they will teleport on you. These ones, it's easier to avoid because... no, the way they teleport is that. They teleport into a lunge, but there's halberd ones that do a straight up teleport drop on top of you. So, let's see, because I believe... no, that's where you're supposed to go. You're supposed to go there. You come from here, I think. This is an example of the drops you'll, like, be making. Just complete lack of walls and fortitude.
All else fails. mental map. It'll come in handy later.
I don't need a mental map. I have a regular map. You won't have a map. You'll have to deal with this on just your footprints on the mini-map. Because that's another thing. So to remember where you've been, you can kind of draw it out on a... Yeah. This gets... Surprisingly, this is the easiest part of the maze. The big long maze. Oh yeah, now I remember. You come in this way. Yeah, this is the one. Because she straight up drops on you. You can't block it. And it will always catch you if you run from her. Yeah, now I remember it. Now I'm getting it back. And you find it. You get here. I'm backtracking through a maze. Oh, yeah, until you get motion sick, because it's the same it's the same image rotating, basically. Oh my god, I get motion sick, basically, playing this one area. Okay, yeah, so you go forward, you take a right. Also, be careful walking into a room. You will get invaded, and at low level, invasions can be the most... They can be the biggest pain in the ass in your life, because they're like what you saw in the tower. Just a bunch of enemies keep spawning. But yeah, if you walk into this room, you get invaded. Once you do an invasion, you actually have a choice, but... Yeah, you go through here, blah, blah, blah. And you're gonna... And if you want to get a good ending, you're gonna want to explore every nook and cranny. Then you're gonna walk this way, and don't run through this area either. That's a recipe for death. Don't run like what I'm doing, because if you run like I am doing, this is what they do to you. This
dangerous to run around randomly.
Yeah, you run around randomly, and they just have potholes. And by potholes, I mean instant death holes in the ground that are hidden, that are literally out of view until you turn the camera directly to actually, see them. Or you have the map unlocked, in which case you have to stare at the map constantly, which is what I do. Thank you, sir. So you get over here, then you drop down through this thing. The usual.
Looks like this isn't a dead end.
Then you drop down here, then you backtrack, then you back your ass through this area. There's this bitch. And her sister. Then you do another drop right here. That's where you get access to a map, to a part of a map. All the while, you're going to want to open shortcuts by looking for the levered doors. Yeah, shortcut, yada yada. That shortcut cuts open, but then you go here, and then you're back to another. There's just a chest down there. There's a dead end here, and one of the...
each area, we'll make it through without any hassle.
And this is where you really are going to start making death drops. You're going to make little leaps of faith that are extremely uncomfortable if you hate falling and making leaps of faith in games. And then you roll.
All else fails.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're going to be... Actually navigating is going to require you to constantly look down and judge, because the angle at which you can turn the camera doesn't make it... There are some drops that just straight up look like you're... Yeah, you come up here, you pull lever, door opens, but this is how far you can turn your camera. There is a solid... That's a solid 5 feet of death you could drop onto. So you don't always know where everything goes, and not everything looks like it should go. But yeah, that opens a door, left, You go through here, you fight. You fight. There's enemies all over. Half of them teleport at you. Other half are buff. Are buff as all hell and pained in the ass. All the while, especially if you don't explore very early on, you will be... This game, they hold off on giving you healing buffs. You do not buff your healing items until, like, mid-late game. Yeah, they're very stingy about it, especially if you don't know what to look for and what to explore for. Anyway, you fall down, go into that room, there's a shortcut you could open up there, blah blah blah. You fall down, you make another cut, make another leap of faith. Ooh, shiny.
That's an odd place for it. We could try
Enter here, you deal with one of the other enemy types, weird pale ladies who are not that annoying. They can just be very beefy considering you won't have anywhere near the damage that I'm bringing. You go through here, you find an elevator, or a ladder, teleport to the other side of the ladder when you hit climb ladder. Climb up, blah 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 blah. Climb up more ladders because you can't have any game that is slightly considered a Souls-like without a shit ton of ladders that are long as fuck and almost like arbitrary loading times. Yeah.
We should be able to survey the area from here.
Get a cool backstab animation so I can let my head rest. Yeah, and you go through here, then you run through here. It's pretty linear once you actually get the whole map down. It's just you have to remember there is a serious level of verticality that you are going to have, that can be a headache to look out for. Like, you can be running in circles, because the map straight up gives you very long linear paths that are very obvious, but then you just are expected to find, tiny drop downs that are pretty much hidden just out of sight.
Wait right there.
And there is no hint, and the companions will never make note of it. They do not help you navigate. And this guy, and then you come to this crossroads. If you go and fight this guy right here, he gives you a healing upgrade, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Healing upgrades are best found by looking for little white branches and whatnot. You're looking for, yeah, white branches and roots. They'll show you that. And then but in reality, you take a right if you want to progress. You run into a teleporting bitch. Excuse me, sir.
All else fails.
What's sad is my friends apparently thought this was endgame. Oh no, this is mid-game. This is pretty much the barrier between noobs who are just kind of trudging through this and people who are actually like trying to who are actually getting into this game. This is the barrier, in my opinion. This is the wall that goes up between you and tells you you either can't do this or you can, because this map puzzly bullshit starts to continue everywhere. Like, this game gives you one direction and that's it. You're expected to find the rest of it. And now we're on to phase 2 of the map.
Something useful?
which is where things get a little... That's a shortcut right there, big one. And this is where drop downs become key, and knowing where to actually drop down. Because you get up here, you go over here. There's a wall there. You go this way to find... There's a path later in here you want to go through here just to... You're going to want to go through this little ways because it gets you somewhat where you want to be. Yeah, go over here, and you open that shortcut door. Yeah, you're going to basically look for these, but much whiter. Like, I'm talking pure white. You'll see them later in the area, don't worry. Like, there's a spot in the... towards the end of this map that straight up is, like, just this one area where that's the white vines, but they're similar to this. They're like the edges of it. You're looking for the edges, those little things. They'll be perked up around, and you'll find the items that buff your healing. Which are these. The regen extension factor, regen activation factor. Because your healing is literally just regeneration. You are sort of patting your chest and regenning.
Be sure you don't slip.
But anyway, you activate the...
You're ready.
And it's worth noting that... Oh, excuse me, sir. Anyway. It's worth noting that those buffs require that you use them like a casual item, and they won't tell... And they'll tell you they permanently increase it and all, but it's kinda up to you to read them and figure that out. And not just hold on to them like they're super heals. Now, this is a shortcut. Okay, I'm just checking. That's a shortcut anyway, but this is death drop number 33, where, yeah, you go over here, you come up here, dead ends. This is one of those claustrophobic kind of drops. You can't see that death pit right there, but you drop like a foot in front of it. And that can be a headache to make those kind of drops, because you can also just be running around and shoot it the wrong way and just jump right over the side of these things and fall and die. Trust me, I've done it. Lost broadsword. You'll get a lot of the lost weapons because they drop them very, very adamantly. Yeah, here you get an actual map layout. It's worth noting that you don't get a map once you don't get a map to start this.
Path in a place like this.
Yeah, this drop from that place to this is a headache of all things. There's no rail guards, and you seriously look like you're about to just you're gonna overshoot and run off the cliff. If the game wasn't actually pretty like square about its gravity mechanics. Anyway, then you make a drop. You can't, once again, heavily claustrophobic. You can't see that tiny thing. You just see a doorway. You can actually make it to this spot before opening or going through that path, but
wait right there.
That's the path that leads you. One of those levers you run into drops a ladder. We're about to see that ladder. The fruits of my ladders. Yeah, it'll drop this ladder, which normally is already up, but if you run through the area, fight the bitches, you'll see it hanging up here, and it'll be marked on the map. Then you get up here, and we're on to the third and last stretch of the fucking area, and it is a headache. This area.
Looks like we can get down from here.
Yeah, I know it looks like we can get down here from here. It's a fucking ladder. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Anyway, so you go over here, there's a lady, you ignore her, you're going to want to do a drop down. Here you can back your ass up.
Don't get too far ahead.
There's a climbing thing. Yeah, you're going to want to back your ass up. Climb the stairs. I believe climbing the ladder leads you to loot. Good loots. It leads you to more headaches and drop downs. But first, you have an option to either go right over here, which will lead you to those guys. If you go the other way, you will end up behind the... You'll end up behind them. I believe an easy option, though, is you want to go up the ladder. Because... I believe you want to go that way solely because it leads you to items necessary for, like, the good ending. I forget. I know because I know I saved the dog woman. I showed you her. Yeah, you go over here, climb. Say hi to Jimmy, James, Jones, Jonathan, Jimmy, Jam, Jones, Jim, Jimbly, Jameson. Yeah, you go over here. You climb up the ladder. There's a lever here, a map call out, and you can drop attack that guy, backstab them, and for an unupgraded weapon, I think that's like an easy near kill, because those enemies will be stupid tanky out for you. They're starting out. Then you get this shortcut. You kill these people. You hit this lever, and that door will open. You could skip all that if you don't care. There is more shortcut magic there.
Not on our watch.
And this is the final stretch of the maze. And this is where it is nothing but drops and drops and drops and drops. Well, no, wait. This is the final stretch of the maze before you actually encounter your next boss. And the boss is kind of difficult, because if you have claustrophobia in a fight with giant enemies, you're going to have claustrophobia with the big boss. But the boss can... not that bad. You can see the boss takes up maybe like a tenth of the arena. It's just he's large, and he swings, and the weapon he uses has pretty good reach, and the weird system of poise in this game where you won't get staggered, and the way he moves, it'll feel very... The best way to describe is weightless.
All else fails.
Like, it feels... When I say best way of describing it is weightless, because they're basically going... He basically smacks you. You won't flinch, move, or anything, but you'll lose like half your health. And he's just kind of flailing his weapon with an awkward hitbox to it. I was gonna look something up, but then I forgot in explaining that to you. All in all, though, it's a pretty simple thing. But yeah, you do a drop down here. This is where you can have difficulty, because there's multiple drop downs and paths, and they can just straight up, and making a wrong one can cause you to walk all the way back and just open a shortcut, which will let you get to the drop down. And it's a little easier, but the straightforward path is going through here, up this way. Through here, up this. A lot of walking, a lot of linear walking. You fight this big enemy. There's a lot of drop downs. You say this won't be easy. I beg to differ. Anyway, but yeah. There's drop downs. That drops you down to a chest and some loot. I take it. There's that rotation. Walking down here, I believe, yeah. This is a part, you want to run down here first and open this door. That way you have a straight, yeah, you open the door, you know. The wimpiest lever pulling animation in the universe. Opening that door, and open that door. Careful about this room because at low level it can be a bit of a pain because these enemies are much tankier and they teleport onto you, and you don't have Jack, or you have, at your best bet is bringing Yakumo because his damage is very, very noob friendly. Yeah, those two enemies can be a pain, but open these two doors because that'll give you straight shot progression.
Wait right there.
But as it was kindly shown earlier, boom. Take a bit of a drop down, take the long way round, climb up a ladder, and you have and here's what you want to look for in finding the healing items. This. You want to look for these in a way. Little pockets of this. Just the shit growing on the lattice, but in weirder, lonelier fashion. But anyway, yeah, then you go here, you pull the lever opens that door, you kick the ladder, if you care. No one, I don't think anyone does. You run through here, and you encounter Big Bad Boss Man. And the boss man's a bitch. And then you touch the axe because you want to. For story purposes. You go to here, touch the missile, and on to the hell that is finding the next fucking area. Going through the next area. Because this one involves you finding 2 goddamn keys. Climb that thing for... So you can go up. And this is why it could be a struggle to run through the area. Those enemies will teleport. But yeah, you go over, you climb this ladder. You can climb down. Be careful, there is an area with an invasion here, and this can be a pain in the ass. You find the missile, that blue purple things later in the day. Later. Yeah, you roll down here, more map expansion, more shit. Ideally, though, you go through, and this is where you actually have to just start looking to the edge, the sides of buildings on your own, because there's kind of minimal, there's a lot of just stuff that can be hard to find. But yeah, it's going down ladder. You're looking first for a shoddy key, which will open a shoddy door. I think it's this door. Then you drop down. And you drop down. Monkey, see what you do. You die. If you drop down all the way to where you see the fat woman, you will get invaded. And fuck it. I got screwed. Yeah, you get invaded down here, and it's really annoying. Also, those people can summon explosions on you, so you can get fucked. Yeah, now I gotta restart most of this run around because I got knocked off trying to kill something. I'd recommend, if you can and you feel comfortable, try and get the invasions out of the way. They're a pain in the ass, and they pretty much ward off an area from you touching it.
Stretch yourself too far.
But yeah, you go through here, the shoddy key, you'll find it. I'm pretty shit at remembering where to navigate for it.
This reminds me of Operation Slayer. I hope you're ready.
In here, you'll find a little bit of loot. But the real treasure is love and anal. Go through here, get more map clearance.
A ladder. Watch your step.
Drop down the ladder. Run through here. And that'll lead you to the ornate key in the chest, and then you have to find the door that requires the ornate key, which is, I think, really easy. And trust me, you should. If you're any good at God Eater and you're any good at Dark Souls, or you play games as good as I do, you should be able to beat this game within the week that you're here. Because I beat this game, and when I say I beat this game, I mean my friends had this game for like 3 months now. I don't know. They've had it for a shit long amount of time.
We can go up.
I got this game, and in 3 days I fucking passed them. Right at the finish line too. I passed them.
Moving.
Oh yeah, here's more loot. Come on, Jack. Keep up. Don't be a little bitch boy. Keep up, Jack. And that's where where you got to be careful about getting into the habit of doing shit like what I do, where I jump off, where I fall instead of actually checking. Yeah, here's where the ornate key goes. And you get all this. I think it's either here or, yeah, here's where the ornate key goes. It gives you a little bit of a rundown, which I think is just a loot area. Which runs you down, runs you over here. Because, yeah, you can't get the other. And, well, I think that runs you up to some more crap. But ideally... Oh, yeah, that just runs you... no, you want to go the other way. You can drop down there to get loot. Important loot, memory loot, story, vital loot. And all in all, it's, Excuse me, ma'am, are you struggling to breathe?
We'll have to make good use of this.
Are you referring to who was living here? Huh. This was made mostly to you gotta understand that this was made to keep people out. Like, the whole point is this place and the people related to it weren't really meant to be found. I think this works. I'm probably mistaken, and I probably screwed myself.
Wait right there.
Yeah, I screwed myself, I think. Yeah, I did. And now I gotta fucking... fuck this goddamn map. I'm gonna teleport to the next path, and I'll backtrack it up to get what we need. Fucking hell. Alright, so I'm at the Inner Tower. Cathedral Front is where is the next missile. By the way, I hope you know that the game pretty much says that instead of dying, your character will deatomize. So yeah, you won't... Yeah, that's going forward because you wanna... Yeah, the whole point of this kind of stuff is because this was made by one person, basically. One person put this together. Yeah, you get the ornate key, you open that up. Bits of exploring, like, I think I just went off a shitload of exploring. Yeah, ornate key opens that up. I just did a bunch of drop downs and explore. But after that, you go here and you just run your happy ass over here.
Moving.
Oh, we meet again. I'm going through the successor data I collected. While I agree with Mito's end goal, I'll find my own way to...
Yeah, you want to find your own way. And then you encounter the boss. But first you have to go and touch the axe and go through all that. Because touch the axe. What are you, scared?
Oh, do you need... Karen is a successor of the relics, like me. She is the successor of the heart. Her power is what creates blood beads. Don't worry, she shows no sign of frenzy now. Karen has an extremely high affinity for the relics, to the extent that she can alter the missile the Queen created. Oh, do you need some?
But yeah, you get this. The fact that she's got... That's not her tail. That's her dick. But yeah. And I thought it was more limited, but the relics you deal with are pretty limited in terms of the Queen, but nah, they straight up cut every little bit of her body, every organ, every fucking bone, because she's the rib cage. The dog woman is the rib cage. So yeah, they stuffed the heart in that girl, in the girl in the middle of a bunch of weeds. They stuffed the finger bones, the claws on one girl's, like, and the Queen gave you her fucking blood. Why do I have to be a part of this? Why couldn't I just die? Yes, Jack. I didn't die, Jack. You thought you killed me. I will be around forever. Hmm? No. Who joins what? Do what? Oh, that's because revenants can turn into the lost people. Basically, if we take off our masks, we get hit by vampire bloodlust, and we turn into the monsters you've been seeing me hack down the entire way. That one tiny guy, before I teleported here, on that little weird off-beaten cave, that one tiny guy with the ogre claw, that's what a revenant who just turned looks like. It's just the lost, they beef up, they turn into the fat things, the demons. That's just what happens when we take off our mask, and or if we don't get enough blood beads or blood. No revenant actually drinks blood straight from humans, even though a lot of them do, and there's a whole point in the game where it's referenced and you actually save a human. And she occasionally stops by the hub world to thank you and say, hey, thanks for, you know, not murdering me and turning me into a blood sex slave or whatever. But yeah, no, so if Jack goes off the deep end because he's probably not drinking his fair share of blood, because what Jack and Eva are doing are they're taking relics and transferring them to different owners. And I believe Eva's an attendant of the relics. But yeah, Jack gave Eva the throat. She's a successor of the throat. So you know what she'd be doing with him all night. Queen's throat got some perks. We're the successor of the blood. The queen fucking... The queen... Nah, the queen fucking cured us and deleted our blood type. Don't ask how that works. Just... Huh. It looks like when I want to look up your guy's blood type, you're null and void. Not applicable. That's what the machine says. Does not apply. Here, drink my blood. Let's see what happens. But, yeah. Jack doesn't succeed on the relic. He just... His whole goal is... Because the successors of the relics all inevitably frenzy. Because no one has the affinity the queen had. And or to take the... no one has the compatible... Because revenants are made by sticking a parasite in them. A BOR parasite. This parasite is stimulated when it actually gets oxygen. Or when it gets whatever's in the air. Because the masks... The weird red tubes attached to the masks are literally just things filled with your blood. You are breathing in air filtered with your own blood. And that is to keep you from frenzying. Because otherwise you get a deep bloodlust by the miasma or whatever, because the air is toxic. So yeah, you breathe that in, you get... So, yeah, you're sniffing in your own blood. But yeah, the parasites make you super strong, let you do all the crazy blood magic. They let you do all that crazy stuff. Because parasites are cool. I mean, humans just die if they breathe the air, because humans all wear gas masks too, I think. Oh. I have more lore to ramble on about. I have more to ramble on about. Aw. love you too. And I've gone through the entire maze. I showed you, and now you have to remember that in that route when you do it.